everyone, welcome to Live Interactive English, and I am Karen.
And I am Shane, and today we are looking at part 2 of Yunlin, the birthplace of Taiwanese puppetry.
That's right. We learned a lot of interesting things that we can see and do in the museum in Yunlin, right?
Right, and I don't know anything about Taiwanese puppetry. In fact, I don't know too much about puppetry in general, but I have seen a puppet show.
You have?
Yeah.
Okay, where?
When I was traveling in the Czech Republic, I saw one in, what's the name of the? Prague.
Okay.
In Prague, and it was Pinocchio.
You mean like a string puppet, right? Because
string puppets.
We know that Pinocchio is a string puppet.
Yeah, it's a wooden string puppet. And it was really entertaining.
Wow, so you really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and they're really like, it's really impressive how they can control all of those strings. And the movements are very fluid, and it's...
And all the joints, they're moving like it looks so realistic, right?
You stop seeing the strings, and it comes to life. It's really cool.
Wow. Actually, I've always thought, puppets are really, really cool because I know there are many different types of puppets out there, right? Like string puppets, hand puppets, glove puppets too.
Yeah. Oh, I like the puppets that do ventriloquism.
Oh, that is the coolest puppet ever.
Right. That's where somebody has a puppet and they don't move their mouth, but they make it speak. So they go.
Hello, my name is Karen. How are you today? I can't really do it, but some people are so good, and then they can use a completely different voice.
Yeah, and they're usually really funny.
That's right.
Cool. Okay, let's get into part 2 and learn more about traditional Taiwanese puppetry.
Let's go.
Yunlin is also home to the Yunlin Story House. This building was constructed in a traditional Japanese style around 1920 and was once the official residence of the Hubei County Governor. In 2006, work to turn the building into a museum was completed. It is now a place to learn about the county's history and culture and features an exhibition hall and library.
Okay, like we promised, this is part 2 of Yunlin, the birthplace of Taiwanese puppetry. So we're continuing on this adventure, learning about Yunlin and puppetry.
That's right. Okay, well, let's start. Yunlin is also home to the Yunlin Story House. This building was constructed in a traditional Japanese style around 1920 and was once the official residence of the Hubei County Governor. Oh, wow. So right now we're not just learning about the museum, the puppet museum, but we're talking about a story house, right?
Yeah, and this story house is over 100 years old. Wow, that's really cool. And it's kind of in the traditional Japanese style.
That's right. It was constructed in a traditional Japanese style, right?
Right.
Okay, so constructed meaning to it was built.
Right, exactly.
Okay, but traditional Japanese style, what does traditional mean? Well, that's an adjective. It just means being part of the beliefs, customs, or way of life of a particular group of people that have not changed for a long time. So for example, traditional food is an important part of our culture. So that means the kind of food that people have been having in this particular area for a very, very long time.
Right, so a tradition, which is a noun, is just like the customs and beliefs of a certain group of people.
That's
right.
So
here we're talking about Japanese tradition or traditional Japanese stuff, right? Okay, we also have another vocabulary word, governor.
That's right.
So a governor, this is a little bit complicated, okay?
Okay.
It's a person who is the official head of a country or a region.
That's right.
That is governed by another country. So for example, in America, right, we have the government of the federal government of America, and then we have states.
That's right.
So I'm from California. So California is a region that is governed by the US government. And this state has a governor. So California governor used to be, do you know who? Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, I remember.
The Terminator.
That's right.
So for example, you could say, the governor gave a speech about the new laws.
Okay, so that's what they're in charge of, right?
Right. So continuing, in 2006, work to turn the building into a museum was completed. Okay, it is now a place to learn about the country's history and culture, and features an exhibition hall and library.
I think that's a really clever idea. Sometimes, if a building has been there for a very long time and no one has been using it, it's a very good idea to turn it into something where we can all learn from, like a museum or, some kind of exhibition, and it would really attract a lot of tourists too.
Yeah, and you really can help preserve all of the culture that would otherwise be lost.
Exactly.
And I think everybody loves like old buildings and seeing things from the past. It's kind of like going into a little time machine. So I think, kids and adults alike both get really excited when you can go into these kind of places and you feel like, wow, I'm back like 100 years ago.
It's like you're in a different world, right? And then I think that's so much better than learning history from books.
Yeah. Cool. Well, let's take a break and learn more.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。我们在第一天跟着课文去参观云林布袋戏馆，那么今天要去参观云林故事馆。这座建筑物是传统日式风格，大约在1920年建造。那它曾经是虎尾郡郡守的官邸，在2006年它被改造成博物馆，现在是一个了解云林县历史和文化的地方。那也有设有一个展览厅，还有图书馆。来看单字 traditional， 它就是形容传统的。Governor 表示管辖者、行政长官，也可以指总督啊、州长等等。Shane 老师在讲解时，他有提到 federal government 是指联邦政府。我们拼一下 federal 是 F-E-D-E-R-A-L， 它可以形容联邦的、联邦制的或是联邦政府的。老师也聊到说，他来自加州。那过去有一任加州州长，就是主演《The Terminator》魔鬼终结者电影系列的阿诺·施瓦辛格。我们顺便学一下 terminate 这个动词好了 ，T-E-R-M-I-N-A-T-E terminate 就可以表达终结、终止。好，这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，我们来看这个重点是 be home to 加上名词，可以表达某地拥有什么，是什么的所在地、居住地。那么 home 在这边是不可数用哦。举例来说 ，The city is home to many beautiful beaches。这个城市有许多美丽的海滩。好，计划课文中。
In addition, the Yunlin Storyteller Association frequently holds events at the Yunlin Story House. This organization was founded in 2005 and aims to promote Taiwan's unique culture with events such as storytelling sessions and classes on local customs. An example of a typical activity that is held at the Story House is Zhuazhou, a Taiwanese tradition that involves a 1-year-old child. First, a variety of items are placed in front of the child. The child then chooses one, a choice that represents the child's future occupation. For those who are interested in puppetry and traditional Taiwanese culture, Yunlin is the perfect place. Don't miss the chance to experience the magic of puppet shows and discover Yunlin's unique culture.
Welcome back, everyone. So before the break, we were looking at the story house in Yunlin, right?
Right.
And how it was like a traditional Japanese style, but it's very cool because they have turned it into a museum where people can go and learn about history and culture of Taiwanese puppetry and also about Taiwanese culture.
Awesome. So continuing now, in addition, the Yunlin Storyteller Association frequently holds events at the Yunlin Story House. Okay, so Storyteller Association. So a storyteller is someone who tells stories.
That's right, but a storyteller association.
Yeah, it's an association or a group of people who are storytellers that meet together. And I guess what? Tell stories?
Yes, I think so. But that's really, really important though.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, and we have this vocabulary word here, frequently, because they frequently hold events, right?
Right.
So frequently is an adverb. It just means often, okay? And our example sentence is she frequently plays soccer in the summer. So when you say she frequently plays soccer in the summer, that means she pretty much maybe plays twice or 3 times a week or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not like once a month or once a year. She does it pretty often.
She does it a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's continue. This organization was founded in 2005 and aims to promote Taiwan's unique culture with events such as storytelling sessions and classes on local customs. Oh, that sounds really, really interesting, right? Storytelling sessions, and people can go there and listen to stories, right?
Yeah, because I think when I go to a museum or something like that, I always try to get somebody who's like a guide.
Oh, okay.
Because that way, really, the things come to life. Because sometimes you just don't really know what you're looking at. And when you hear a story about how this thing was created, like a puppet or what history it has, it really comes to life, right?
Exactly.
So this is really a good way to promote the puppetry. So to promote means to help sell a product, service, or any kind of a thing, or just make it more popular by advertising it or offering it at a special price.
That's right.
So for example, you could say, those people in the yellow t-shirts are promoting a new sports drink.
Oh, so that means they want people to know about it and they want people to buy it.
To buy it, right.
Okay, and we also have this vocabulary word here, custom, and that is a noun. So it just means accepted way of behaving or of doing things in a society or a community. So for example, eating a birthday cake is a custom in many cultures.
I would guess it's probably a custom in most cultures.
That's right. I would say most cultures.
Almost all cultures, right?
Exactly.
So continuing, an example of a typical activity that is held at the Story House is Zhuazhou, a Taiwanese tradition that involves a 1-year-old child.
Oh, this is so fun. My daughter did this.
Oh, really? You had your daughter do it? Okay, let's talk about that. First, tell us what it is.
Okay, well, first, a variety of items are placed in front of the child.
Okay.
The child then chooses one, a choice that represents the child's future occupation. That was so fun. So they placed like a lot of items for my daughter, like in front of her. Well, the school. My daughter's kindergarten, they also did this.
Cool.
So then they had like maybe stuff like calculators, books, or syringe, stethoscope, and then they will see, okay, which one she is most interested in. The first item she picks, that means what she's going to be when she grows older.
So what did she pick?
My daughter picked the syringe. You know, when you get a shot, you need a syringe to get a shot, right?
So it could be a doctor or a nurse.
That's right.
Wow, interesting.
You've never heard of it before, right?
I've heard of it, but I don't understand exactly how it works. But like, I feel like a parent could just put the items they want for their child to pick. Like if they want them to be a doctor, they can just put all things that are like
related
to.
Doctors. Well, it doesn't really work like that. You don't get to choose. As a parent, you don't get to choose what items that you put in front of the child.
So there's like a variety.
Exactly. The person who's doing the ceremony will actually have, different types of items in front of the child. It could be musical instruments or calculator, book, so on and so forth.
Okay, so what's the next vocabulary word?
Okay, our next vocabulary word is represent, and that is a verb. And that just means to be a symbol of something. So for example, on this map, the stars represent capital cities. So when you see the stars, you know that these stars, that mean they represent the capital cities.
Got it. Okay. Continuing, for those who are interested in puppetry and traditional Taiwanese culture, Yunlin is the perfect place. Don't miss the chance to experience the magic of puppet shows and discover Yunlin's unique culture.
Definitely. I would definitely want to visit Yunlin. Now we have a what do you think question for you and everyone.
Okay.
It says, do you think it's important to protect traditional culture? Why or why not?
Nah, who cares?
Shane!
Just let it die, you know? We can't just hold on to the past all of the time. We need to move towards the future.
Seriously? Is that really what you think?
No, I don't really think that. I think it's really important to preserve, cultures, and especially traditional cultures.
Yes.
Because I feel like as this world becomes smaller and smaller, people become more and more alike. And traditions, cultures, and all get lost because everybody just wants the same stuff, an iPhone, the same fashion. Everybody's looking to be the same.
That's right.
So I think preserving traditional culture is like super important.
I think it's really important too. Like people or things like this, we enjoyed in the past. I think people in the future can also enjoy it too.
Absolutely.
Right?
Well, I learned a lot, and thank you for joining us. Hope you learned a lot too.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
云林故事人协会常常在云林故事馆举办活动。那这个组织成立于2005年，他们以说故事时间，还有和用这种在地习俗课程等等的活动来推广台湾独特的文化。那在故事馆举办的一些典型活动当中，其中一个就是抓周，也就是把各式各样物品摆在1岁孩童面前，看这孩子会选哪一种，就代表了孩子未来的职业。我们来看单字 frequently。它是副词，表示经常地、频繁地。那么 promote 这个动词表示推广、提倡，或是有宣传推销的意思。再来 custom， 它表示习俗或是有惯例的意思。represent 则表示代表、象征。Karen 老师就聊到说，她的女儿抓周时有摆放的物品，像是书计算机还有提到 syringe 就是针筒、注射器，还有提到 stethoscope 则是听诊器。好，那么课文最后提到说，对于对布袋戏和传统台湾文化有兴趣人来说，云林是个完美的旅游地点，千万别错过这个体验布袋戏魔力，还有发现云林独特文化的机会哦。那这边用到2个重点，我们要进入文法时间。好，我们来看第一个重点是 found 跟 find 比一比。Found 虽然是 find 的过去式和过去分词，可是它本身也是一个原形动词哦。那我们就来比较这2个动词。首先 found 当动词表示建立、成立，它的动词3态是 found, founded, founded。那么 find 当动词表示发现、找出，它的动词3态是 find, found, found。那我们就来看2个例句咯。Her stolen bike was found yesterday. 他遭窃的脚踏车昨天被找到了。He founded his own company in 1978. 他于1978年成立了自己的公司。好，第2重点是 those who 加动词表示什么什么的人，凡是怎么样的人。先行词 those 是当代名词用，是指那些人，后面再接 who 引导的形容词子句去修饰 those， 限定范围说是那些怎么样怎么样的人。好，那这边 who 后面的动词是要用复数型哦。举例来说，They have an alternative menu for those who don't eat meat. 他们有一份替代菜单，是给不吃肉的人看的。好，那么以上这些讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Yunlin is also home to the Yunlin Story House. This building was constructed in a traditional Japanese style around 1920 and was once the official residence of the Hubei County Governor. In 2006, work to turn the building into a museum was completed. It is now a place to learn about the county's history and culture and features an exhibition hall and library. In addition, the Yunlin Storyteller Association frequently holds events at the Yunlin Story House. This organization was founded in 2005 and aims to promote Taiwan's unique culture with events such as storytelling sessions and classes on local customs. An example of a typical activity that is held at the Story House is Zhuazhou, a Taiwanese tradition that involves a 1-year-old child. First, a variety of items are placed in front of the child. The child then chooses one, a choice that represents the child's future occupation. For those who are interested in puppetry and traditional Taiwanese culture, Yunlin is the perfect place. Don't miss the chance to experience the magic of puppet shows and discover Yunlin's unique culture.
Today, we're going to take you to Bajiang River Charity Ferry Stele. Now, it has a really interesting story behind it. At the Bajiang River, a long time ago, if people wanted to cross this river, they had to walk across the river. But then some businesses started making rafts and charging people and became really expensive. So the local authorities hired boatmen and eventually it was free. But later on, a suspension bridge was also built. However, there's no bridge there right now, but you can only imagine how many people have crossed the river. So let's learn more about the Bajiang River Charity Ferry Stele.
At the south end of Nantian Ancient Road, there is a municipal historic site called Bajiang River Charity Ferry Stele. The Bajiang River Charity Ferry Stele is located next to Amitabha Temple. The stele was built in 1847 and recorded a story. A long time ago, if people needed to cross the Bajiang River, the former name of the Bajiang River, they had to roll up their trouser legs and walk across the river with their own feet. Afterwards, some people made rafts and started to run a business ferrying people to their destinations. However, the fee was too high and caused disputes. Therefore, the authorities and local gentry decided to hire boatmen and pay them with money from rent off of fields. This way, people could cross Bajiang River without any charge. Taking a raft was convenient, but sometimes bad weather caused a shutdown. As a result, in 1923, during the Japanese-ruled period, a suspension bridge was built. In honor of the construction, the foundation of the stele was inscribed with words. Now the bridge can no longer be seen, but the bridge pier located next to Bajiang River is there. We can imagine how people crossed Bajiang River here.
I hope you guys really enjoyed learning about the Bajiang River Charity Ferry Stele. And it has a lot of interesting stories and history behind it. So next time you visit, make sure you take lots of pictures. And this is all the time we have for today, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.